Hey, it's Mob Guppy, where the Guppy is the mob. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late, gang. I was getting my hair and beard done. So, good times had by all. How are all of you? I'm going to share this out real quick. And I have a lot of stuff going on. Maggie's at daycare right now. I get to pick her up I leave here in about 2.5 hours. Pick her up. I have something I have to do tonight, and so that's good. That is good. And as you come in, say hi and hit a like. And yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I'm involved with a community event at one of the local high schools today. So that's kind of exciting to be a part of. So I'm involved with something helping, uh, going out and helping people with raise money for a senior class party for Webb City, Missouri's high school, the Webb City High School, the home of the Webbers. So there you go. What is up, Melvin? How are you? How are you, my friend? It's I've been really busy, which is great. Which is great. It's a beautiful day here in Joplin, Mo. We're about 50 degrees now. It's supposed to get up, I think, another 10 or so degrees. So nice. I wish I had more of a chance to enjoy it, but I don't. So there you go. And what else is going on, gang? I have been so busy again with a lot of stuff at work, a lot of stuff at yeah, a lot of stuff all over the place. Watching some TV, doing some Big Tank Hank is back doing live streams and was in the chat. That's nice. I love Big Tank Hank. Hey, Melvin and everybody, please give me a like. That's always really helpful. And yeah. I've been again. It's just my busy schedule has been, has been, you know, that's what's going on. I've got stuff to do in the fit with the fish. I have my first shipment of the year going out on Monday. So sending some swordtail guppies off to beautiful and delightful Massachusetts. So there you go. It's so there you go. Let's see. I've got to get some. How do you like my new glasses, by the way, gang? Think these work? The reason I was late, I had to get my beard cut back, and the hairstylist, I think, was hitting on me. I think it was more than just seeking a nice tip, which she got. She was complimenting me all the time. So there you go. Neighborhood Pet Start has some blue wag tail guppies, longfin leopard danios. Yeah, it's I am in the process of going into my local PetSmart and just do a recording about how unhealthy the fish look. They just look terrible. Yeah, leopard danios. I love having them. I think they're great looking fish. I don't have them right now, so it's I love all the Danios mainly because the action in the aquarium. They're so busy, they're so fast going back and forth. Let's see what's going on with the Gups. Just reorganizing a few things, getting ready to, getting ready, for spring. I'm setting up new breeding populations. I tried a couple of crosses that are not working, that I just didn't like them, and Muppet. And now with crosses, I've given my theory on crosses before, and I'll do it again. If you do a strain crosses with guppies, have an end game, and the end game is having to do with, okay, what are you trying to get traits wise? And you have to go out and sort of keep an eye on that. Doug Gray. I was born in a crossfire hurricane. That's true. I have an end game on this that I try. And I made a couple of crosses that was not necessarily the end game that I was after. But they were interesting, so I held on to them, have worked with them. They just are what they are. They're gonna really go. I'll bring it to my local LFS, and some really nice people take these guppies home and think they're wonderful, and which is perfectly fine for me. So there you go. So that's one of the things that I'm up to. Um, it Yeah, yesterday got to 80 degrees in Joplin, Mo. Today, I think it was originally supposed to get to 58 or 59, but I think they've now upped it, so which is great. I'm all in on that. I am all in on. We did not get any tornadoes in my community. I hope you guys avoided them as well. Joplin got nailed by a hugely devastating tornado just about 12 years ago. Oh, yeah, now it's getting into the 60s. So originally, we were supposed to get into, we were supposed to get it. Joplin is a history of getting, we had a devastating tornado 12 years ago, a 12th anniversary that killed 161 people. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we've not had anything close to since. And we live in kind of a weird area because Kansas is famous for tornadoes, Oklahoma as well, very famous. And we have not gotten a lot. And so people are getting kind of burned out on it. So there you go. We are famous for our alien abductions. It's okay, Muppet. Glad you're here. Lurk away. I'm pro lurking. If you're a lurker, you will never get any type of criticism from me, ever. So there you go. My Now, I will say this: I went and got the next level down. Uh, the next level down. Uh, brine shrimp eggs. Normally, I get the high end, and I decided, what the heck, let me give that a shot. So I've been using them now for about well over a week. Um, the hatch rate, yeah, it's not quite as good. Yeah, I have the 85 to 90% one, Doug. The next level down. Let me and let me see what the brine shrimp or American brine shrimp calls it. I'll let you know. I tried it mainly because, again, part of this here is that, you share what you're trying with all of your friends. Yeah, I've got the 80 to 85%. I don't have the premium grade. I have the grade A. Um, Here's my opinion of it. Um, it's fine, but the amount of is it worth the extra few dollars for the higher end? Absolutely. And will I ever do this one again? Yeah, probably not. So, but I wanted to try it out just to say that I did. Lumpy Dog, what's going on in Michigan? And yeah, so I'm relatively, I'm glad I tried it. Uh, I'll give you one of my theories of life. Don't get overly, uh, there are reasons to try things. If I go to a restaurant and they do it wrong, I don't get mad. Uh, I very rarely send it back. Very rarely. Um, if they overcook it a little bit or undercook it, like if it's a steak or something like that, I'll live with that. So there you go. Okay, I have a story from this morning. So I drop my dog off. I'm going to hit the grocery store, but I'm really hungry. So I stop at Waffle House. And we have two Waffle Houses in the area. All, in fact, on the same road, even though the road has different names, it's the same road. They change the name when it hits the border of a different city. So I went in and sat down and I waited and I waited. So I'm there for 10 minutes. And I'm going, well, let's see how long this takes. So then I am there for 20 minutes. None of the employees say hi. I have the wait staff cleaning the tables next to mine. Okay. And so at the 30-minute point, and at this point, I'm just doing this just, see what's going on. So at the 30-minute point, one of the waitresses said, "Have you been helped?" I said, "Well, I've been here for 30 minutes and no, I've not been helped." So I got free breakfast. I could have ordered anything. I ordered relatively something very simple. And so there you go. But I just waited it out. And I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have tried to put in my order because I am like way behind on stuff. So when we're done speaking here, I I've got to get my grocery shopping done. Then I got to go pick up Maggie. Then I've got to go and get a couple other things done. Yeah. So there you go. And being a single guy, Doug Gray, I know you're single. I don't know if any of you other folks are single. You go into a place alone. You go into a restaurant alone. It's semi unusual, even at a place like Waffle House, where you think that would go from, yeah, I do too, since I'm no longer dating the gal I was dating. But I don't know. We decided not to see each other, and the gal I was seeing all of a sudden keeps sending me pictures of food. My ex-wife keeps calling me too. I don't know. It's a little weird. But I like pictures of food. So there you go. Yeah, so I go into places alone. And I've only lived here. My 4th anniversary in this community is coming up May 1st. So 4 years. I still not do know a lot of people. I am, pretty low key. So I go in and, it's, I go, and there are certain places where you go where if you're with people, whole different thing. You walk in alone. A lot of times at restaurants, they think, oh, waiting for somebody. No, it's just me. So there you go. Yeah, so that was interesting. And I should have just left after 5 minutes, but I didn't. So there you go. Let's see what's going on with the fish. Other than that, they're trucking along. Gotta get some water changes done. That'll be tomorrow. And I've got to get some boxes ready to go because I have fish on the way out. So I'll do that tomorrow. I'm in desperate need of days off. Yeah. It's a heck of a deal. Let's see. So the crosses I've done, here's what is working really well. Let me tell you what's going on with the California Reds. The California Reds, I'm now beginning, and Doug Gray with the swordtail thing, you'll want to keep an eye on this. California Reds, I think on generation 7. And one of my breakouts I did a couple of months ago started to get fry. I'm now beginning to get double sword males. So I have learned this. If you're going to do a sword cross and you want swords, do it with the male, at least from what I have seen genetically. So there you go. Let's see. My strength, by the way, on this time of year is that use it. By the way, if you live in a home or a condo where you have a yard, which I didn't have for years, it's aquarium water is really good for your lawn, really good. And I have a couple of young trees. I put it on there. So there you go. That's the beauty of water changes. Yeah, yesterday, by the way, here, we had winds, 50, 60 miles per hour. And the 50, 60 mile per hour wind. I was talking to one of my neighbors last night, and we saw one of the houses where the shingles were coming loose, but you could tell they were cheap ass shingles. So there you go. Half black pinks and blue swordtail guppies. There you go. Now, I will say this, that I am not as, you go with some people have the swordtails. Alan Bias is the probably the premier swordtail guppy breeder. I am not as focused in on the different varieties of swordtails that he's in. Alan has that pretty well sorted out. Some people do. I occasionally get swordtails that are very blue, and I've never started to pay attention to them. So there you go with that. My and I will tell you the one thing about the swordtail males, um, I almost never have an issue with a non-sword mate with a male show up that does not develop a sword. Today, it's Zero Sugar Sunkissed. Quite good. I haven't gone to Sam's Club yet. That's probably tomorrow. And and so there you go. So it is, yeah, you go do that and go from there. By the way, is it just me? Has zero I have to pay my stupid bank a monthly fee. They make a killing off of me because I buy most of my stuff on debit card. They get a piece of the action there. Do your banks, do you have zero fees at your bank? Just curious. Just curious all the way around. You have a credit union, no fees? Yeah, there's a couple of local credit unions that'll take proletariat people like me, and I've not been in to visit them. I probably need to do that. I'll probably go and sign up with them once I get my tax refund, and really go into it, because I swear to you, my bank is, you do online banking, and that used to be completely free. So if you went in and paid your bills online, that was a completely free thing. And now now they're hitting me up with, a monthly fee on that, which makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. It just makes zero, again, just I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And because banks are now making more money, because everybody's on the debit card, and they get a piece of everything you get. And and that's they're making a killing on you. And any bank that fails like that, we've had a couple of them fail. It is because they are run by complete morons. They are absolutely run by idiots. It's they have no understanding of what's going on. And it just I just am floored that that any bank would go out, and considering all the stuff that banks have, I mean, my goodness, it's just the most bizarre thing in the world. Just the most bizarre thing in the world. Well, lumpy dog, it's okay. Yeah, we have to pay for the bank failures. And the deal is with the two banks that went under, but the big one was the one out in the Bay Area. Um, yeah, it makes you know such little sense. The one thing about a bank is that banks should not be in the business of being venture capital firms. And apparently that was the big thing with that bank in San Francisco. They were making all these ridiculous speculative things. Yeah, John Wick 4. Yeah, it's I have a staff member on my thing who is like in his early 20s, and he went thrifting and is dressing like John Wick when he and his buddies go to see the movie today. And Keanu Reeves uh is doing something most Hollywood stars don't. Normally, you're this single guy that women find attractive. Obviously, Keanu Reeves cannot act, and you are dating usually, unless you got married early or what have you. He's never been married. He's dating a gal that's age appropriate. So there you go, Petro Man, 1185. What is going on? So good for him. It's all good. By the way, if you are in Minnesota, you got absolutely hammered. And absolutely hammered with snow yesterday. All my Minnesota people are whining, and I'm going, you're Minnesotans. It's part of the deal. Yeah, because it's essentially, and again, I love the Matrix movies, and he was perfect for those. I don't think that Keanu Reeves being nominated for an Oscar will ever be used in the same sentence. You know who he's like, Doug Gray? You'll remember this guy, one of the great action stars of the 1970s into the 80s. Charles Bronson. He is sort of like a modern day Charles Bronson. Bronson, though, I think could have actually acted better. Yeah, so Charles Bronson was a pretty intense guy and made a bunch of movies. And yeah. And so there you go. And I thought he was dead longer than this. I went to look it up. He died in 2003, so he's been dead 20 years. And if you've not seen Charles Bronson movies, just consider Keanu Reeves, but perhaps a little more intense. I think would be your deal there. So yeah. And so there you go. He was married to an actress named Jill Ireland. Yeah, it's hey, what's up, Mark? Good day. And by the way, Doug Gray, I understand that the Dungeons and Dragons movie is supposed to be good. There you go. And yeah, my one of my buddies, his daughter announced to him that she's non-binary, and he said, "What? What's that?" And she went to explain it to him, and he goes, "Okay, what does the DNA say?" And she looked at him perplexed, and he said, "Look it up, find out, and let me know." Yeah, it's so there you go. Your red discus from Hans just laid eggs. Not ready for this to go to Florida for 2 weeks of the NMA. Not a good time to lay eggs. Yeah. Sorry about that. Whole Lot of Love is a great Led Zeppelin song. By the way, where's Chewy? Uh, who wants to be called Lunatic Fringe these days, but I'll always call him Chewy. Um, I didn't realize this, and maybe I knew this but forgot it. You know, uh, you know why Led Zeppelin were always at each other's throats, arguing all the time? Well, it really has to do with Jimmy Page. And they probably made a lot less money because of what Jimmy Page did. Is that Jimmy Page, he sort of put this group together and he goes, "Well, it's my group. When we write songs, no matter what, I get half the music royalties." And all of a sudden, you had John Bonham on drums, you have the unbelievable lead singer Robert Plant, bass player John Paul Jones, and they're all of a sudden going, "Okay, we're splitting 50% and he gets the other half." And oh my god. And that's why they were arguing all the time. It's because the music royalties where the money is. It and so that's why, and so some of these groups, you find out why they're wanting to kill each other all the time. A lot of times it has to do with music royalties. A lot of times. You know what band from like the 70s I've been listening to a lot lately? And I oh no, I'm going blank on it. Hold on, it'll come to me. It's yeah, I like them so much I remember them. Uh Rainbow. Uh I've been listening lately to a lot of what Rainbow put out. And it really, really was a strong band. I don't think people understand what a great band that was. And just interesting, fun to listen to, great musicianship, and yeah, really, really good. Yeah, because it was quote unquote a super group. Yeah, it's Aerosmith, U2 splits everything equally on the songwriting credits for most of the songs. It yeah, yeah, Dokken was an 80s into the 90s band. Yeah. Queensryche, very good. It's yeah, it but if you look at the wars with these bands, a lot of times it is over, songwriting credits. It is all about it. It has everything to do, and you just have to really understand you know is that if all of a sudden the band isn't there working, and they're all for one and one for all, it's usually really difficult. Usually really difficult. Really difficult. And when you go in, and some of these guys in the bands don't really want to write the music, that's fine. If they realize they're going to be making less money, it's usually not good. It's usually fine, but yeah, usually if all of a sudden somebody in the band is driving, is driving uh, if they're going out and driving a Ferrari and you're driving a Kia, generally speaking, not so good. People are not that happy. People are not that happy at all. So a little helpful hint on that. Yeah, I'm looking here. I'm looking a little bit at the Metallica discography, and and yeah, it's mostly written by the big two with occasionally one of the other members in. There you go. Doug was the sixth Beatle. Yeah, the wigs are out. Ooh, that's actually a really a good one, Doug. Abbott and Costello meet the mummy. I'm going to be out doing an event tonight, semi work related. Yep. So there you go. Well, I think, Mark, the deal is with Fleetwood Mac is that I don't think any of them could manage money to save their lives. And they've had to continue touring, even though because at some point, if you guys hate being around each other, and that's also the problem with Fleetwood Mac, apparently, they go through periods where they just hate each other's guts. Um, yeah, you're only touring because there's money involved. It just is. I know, somebody who wrote a lot of music, a lot of stuff that gone through, and he hasn't produced new stuff, in 30 years. And he goes, "Yep, every royalty check is less." And he goes, "What's really upsetting is that since he was not a star in a band, he just was a composer. It's not like he can go on tour with it. So if you are like in one of these bands, that can still tour and people go out to you. Look at the Who. The Who's down to two members. It's and all the music writing, by the way, all goes to Pete Townsend. So there you go. Yeah, S&M, Symphony and Metallica. Doug Gray. I was listening to that the other day. Yeah, Lumpy, I go through different things with music. When I was younger, I was very opinionated. I always liked going against the grain, just being fair. And you go against the grain, and the deal is with it. The fun part about going against the grain is that you are able, you go out, but again, it's just you're somebody who doesn't fit in at the big events. Leonard Skinner touring with ZZ Top right now. You never liked and don't like his Kiss? I think the deal with that band is that whether you like them or don't like them, they sort of changed the game. They sort of changed the game as far as what you expected at a live show. They changed the game as far as merchandise. Merchandise used to be just a T-shirt, and that's about it. They changed the game. Musically, is that a great group? No. They are not great musicians. And by the way, I don't think if you asked them if they thought they were great musicians, I don't think they would admit to it. That being said, there's something about longevity, and these guys created a brand that, for whatever reason, has lasted. And and you have to appreciate that. And you have to appreciate that even if you're not. You know who I've gotten to kind of like? And mainly, originally, I just thought it was just a teeny bopper at group. Uh, was Justin Bieber. At the beginning, you're just going, okay, yeah, cute kid, funny looking hairdo, sing songs. They can't really sing. And, I've never listened to the Elder Lumpy Dog. I'll have to do that. By the way, I agree with you on that. But just because of my comings and goings, I get introduced to, I get exposed, not introduced, exposed to stuff. And you know what? Acts without talent never last. I will tell you somebody who will not last. And he's been hot. He was with and the guy cannot sing to save his life. Is Harry Styles. Can't sing. My new favorite groups that have been around in the last decade or so. The Interrupters. Not familiar with them, get familiar with them. Very good. I really enjoy, they've been around a little longer, the Killers. I like the Killers a lot. I think they're great. The Black Keys, I like a lot. I have a problem with the Black Keys. And I'll tell you the one thing that bothers me about the Black Keys, but I like them and I have a lot of songs on my playlist. It's is that sometimes I think the Black Keys go retro for retro's sake instead of just going out and taking those retro concepts and making them new. That's my lone complaint. I love them though. I think they're great. Yeah, I like that. That old school guitar sound is great. There's no white keys? Yeah, there are. You look at the piano. But yeah, it's strong. All right, gang, I've got to get back to doing some stuff. Thank you very much. We'll see you next weekend. I appreciate every one of you. Enjoy your time with your fish.